Hello and good afternoon, Speed Gaming. Welcome to another awesome installment of the Metroid Prime 2 Randomizer Tournament. Today's race is going to be against Kazuto versus Lane1. As always, excited to be able to be here. I am 329th in line. Getting ready to jump into round 3 of this 2021 Winter Tournament. Been seeing some great races, a lot of couple of jet seeds, more than I would have expected to see, but a lot of great races this tournament, and no doubt in the mood for a great race this afternoon. If you're in chat, go ahead and let us know how you're doing. What makes racing so great is this community that we all get to hang out with. So let us know how you're doing today, what you're excited to see, maybe what you think might give our runners some trouble today. And we're off. And we are starting at the ship today. Going to be going through the Splinter Hive on both sides. I'm going to have to check the GA and see if there was any starting items. All I see is start at landing site. So I don't think that there were any starting items that we're missing. So I'm just going to go ahead and get a little bit of a vanilla start here in Temple Grounds. Holding out for a required Chaika, I see. Yeah, I haven't seen Chaika a single fight this tournament. And as it usually is early on, especially when we're starting out with no items, gonna see a lot of the same progress as we start up here. Be interesting to see what kind of options become available to our runners early on, and see if that provides any routing divergence. I will say it's very rare I see a vanilla opening to something like this. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see where progression points us. A lot of the seeds that we've been seeing so far have been super Torvis heavy, with maybe just keys and sank. I haven't gotten to catch the other round 3 races that have started yet, so I could be totally wrong. Maybe there were some huge sank plays earlier in the last few days. But here we go. We're getting started because I hear some Temple Grounds music playing. Metroid Prime has had some of the greatest music, all 3 of them really. Some great music. And we're gonna get a first look at our item over here. See what's in this. Ooh, the Seeker launcher. So we have Seekers on Lane side. That's a nice item to find early on. That's our logical first missile launcher too. And we can also dupe that item thanks to a little bit of manipulation here. So starting out with 10 missiles and Seekers is not a bad way to get moving. Kazuto no doubt going to be doing that same manipulation in this room. If you don't know, if you're able to grab that item from the tank before the cutscene plays, when the cutscene plays, it will reload the item in here. And Kazuto armed with 10 missiles on their side. And Lane is going to give us our Alpha Splinter fight. Kazuto going for that slope jump over here. Having a little bit of trouble. It's a finicky one. Gotta be careful early game on, too. Energy can be a rare commodity. But Kazuto doing a good job finishing that fight up over there. Getting a little bit of energy to stay alive. There we go, nailing that slope jump, and going to be moving on. And the Lane taking advantage of the Seeker missiles to deal a little bit of extra damage on this Dark Alpha Splinter fight. And we're going to see what Splinter has for us today. It is Dark Torvis Key. Well, we are 1/3 of the way onto seeing Chaika there for you, Tallow. And as Kazuto is making their way up, Lane is going to go ahead and say hello to Yumos for us. Get a nice violet translator, vanilla. And as nice as it is to grab the violet translator up there, so you can get that first hint, it's just a joke hint today. Considerably not helpful, but fun to look back and laugh. Very vanilla opening to this. We're going to take that violet translator over to Agon. Kazuto going toe-to-toe with the Dark Alpha Splinter. No doubt going to be relying on the same Seeker missile strats. Or going to make me eat my words. That's fine, too. Oh, but with an Emerald Translator pickup. That might open some different routing in Lane's mind. Pretty sure we're still forced into Agon at this point. And we do have a missile-related upgrade there in the floating ink cache. And we're going to get a peek at this item over here in the Agon elevator. It is the Morph Ball bombs. That is a nice find heading into Agon. And the Dark Beam is hiding out here in Temple grounds. Well, Morph Ball Bombs is going to give us access to a lot of the Morph Ball triggers in Agon, especially with that first portal room. It's also going to give us a way out of the Morph Ball Bomb Guardian room, because we don't have Space Jump or Power Bombs yet. That dark beam is also something that you're going to want to be able to bring into Agon if you can. Opens up a lot of checks. So Lane might be sniffing around Temple Grounds a little more, see if you can locate that dark beam. But we do find our first Sky Temple key. And if you're new to the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes randomizer, Sky Temple keys are what we need to gain access to the final boss and to finish this game. There are 9 of them hidden around the world. And there is a way to get hints to see where they're all located, but requires quite a few items. One of which, the main items, is Seeker Missiles, which we already have. But it will require a few more items, so it's always nice when you can stumble upon a Sky Temple key when you're just doing your regular checks. Yep, so that Accursed Lake is a missile-related upgrade. My apologies. And Lane grabbing our first energy tank of the match. That is definitely something you're happy to find. Early game can be few and far between. And as we start getting into the Dark World, where you consistently take damage, you can run out of energy quite quickly. And our first major divergence that we're going to see here is Kazuto decides to take the information that they got about the Dark Beam and kind of store that away. Kazuto heads into Agon Wastes. Well, Lane made a couple of extra checks when he got the knowledge. It did yield him an STK, but nothing else of note that I saw, so. And chat, feel free to keep me honest out there. If you see a pickup that I don't catch, let me know. I'm running tracker as well as calming this race. So usually I enjoy the luxury of being able to take a look at what the tracker marks in case I miss something, but that is not going to be the case today. That is correct. The goal of this randomizer setting is just to defeat the final bosses. And to get access to them, we're going to need those Sky Temple keys. Nothing else is going to be required unless we have to do it to get something that is required. So there's a chance we could skip some major bosses. There's no need to do any of the energy transfer if you're familiar with the vanilla game. All we got to do is take down Emperor Ing and Dark Samus. I say that's all we have to do, as though it's not a tall task with quite a few items required to get there for our journey, so. Kazuto picking up their first energy tank of the match. The real benefit so far has been that both our runners are coming through here with mostly a vanilla loadout. So sometimes some of those early things that require morph ball bombs, you kind of have to skip over. So at least they're getting to get some of these early checks out of the way that sometimes can be a pain to come back for. As Lane has a showdown with these space pirates over here, we're going to see the Bomb Guardian on Kazuto's side. Yes, the bombs were in the Agon elevator little alcove. I also, when you have morphball bombs or any way to get out of this fight, it's always nice to see the runners take a second while the Bomb Guardian cutscene does its whole thing to go ahead over and lay that bomb, destroy the sand block. Just small optimizations to save time. Bomb Guardian was holding just some missiles. Yeah, but like I said a couple of minutes ago, being able to come through here with bombs is great. You can go ahead and check the energy transfer. They'll be able to get access to that first dark portal. But that early energy, that early violet, I'm sorry, completely tongue-tied. That being able to go ahead and check that, which is normally the Amber translator, does not yield anything for us today. It is just the run validator itself, the energy transfer module. A little high five there from the runners. Chat wants to let me know what's hiding up there on the spider ball track. I couldn't make it out. It was a little pixelated. And Lane1 validating their run 2. And the breadcrumbs seem really like they're pushing us just to get into this Dark Agon play as early as possible. I can't think of anything on the top of my head that's jumping out as quickly. The lane taking advantage of some Morph Ball bomb jumps here. Very impressive movement and strategy. Nicely done on lane side. Gonna get access to the Pirate Labs instead. Interesting divergence here. Now without space jump, this is out of logic, but Lane showing us that he does not need that. Actually like this. I like this play. I think I like this play more because I'm going to get to see a little more variety early on. And Kazuto showing us that you do not need to bomb all 3 of those locks. You only need to take 1 out, as long as it's the last one, because that's the only one the game checks for. Getting to skip a little Morph Ball puzzle there. And Lane reminding us that even with cannons, space pirates are no match. Just a couple of well-placed missiles. You'd think those cannons would be able to hold up to more. Just a couple of missiles and they blow up. Under the feet of the pirates, though, looks like something good. Yes, that is the spider ball. Very good pickup on Lane's side, using a little sequence breaking to go ahead and grab the spider ball there. See if that comes into play early on. We have a very vanilla opening to this race so far. We came into Agon with only really missiles and, Morph Ball bombs and Seeker missiles. Kazuto using those Morph Ball bombs to go ahead and open this path in the Dark World. I have to imagine that there's some sort of progression leading here. Has to be space jump soon. And no, we do not have any knowledge about any required bosses as of yet. And I didn't catch which key that was. Chat, did you happen to see what red key Kazuto picked up? And Kazuto showing us, if you're joining late, that our starting location tonight was Samus's ship. Kazuto is going to take those morph ball bombs down here for at least one more item. And going to load that Dark Missile Trooper fight. We know that Dark Beam was hinted at being in Temple grounds. Very well could be on the Dark Missile Trooper. Yeah, if you catch it, Lightning Strike, that'd be great. If not, I'm sure I'll see Lane pick it up on the other side in just a minute. So, and there it was. The Dark Beam was located on the Dark Missile Trooper. So the Dark Missile Trooper lives up a little bit to his name, right? Dark Beam, Dark Missile Trooper. Dark Torvis key, thank you. So that's our second Dark Torvis key. If you like to see Chaika, I don't know. It's looking like we might have to. Now that's going to present a slightly interesting challenge for Lane. He came back once he grabbed Morph Ball Bombs and got that hint about the Dark Beam. I was able to Morph Ball Bomb, get that check Kazuto just did for the Sky Temple key. While he was searching for his Dark Beam, didn't find it. So Kazuto's going to be able to go back into Agon with the Dark Beam. Definitely going to be helpful. Lane, however, with a little bit of advantage on his side, used some bomb jumping to skip through needing space jump, checked the pirate labs, and found the spider ball. Spider ball was under the feet of the space pirates. So some advantages on both sides. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Yes, Nightwolf final bosses are on. And the broom closet has a dark burst stored in it. It's not the Dark Beam that Lane was hoping for. But he knows that he's not going to find it here because we got that hint that it's in Temple grounds, and we saw on Kazuto's side, Dark Missile Troopers got it today. Lane, be careful. And I missed the hint. It was a little blurry. Didn't see what was in Reliquary. But Lane on Lane's side, if you look, if you're not familiar with this, the Jump Guardian, the model loads in, so the hitbox is there, but the sprite does not display. So he is able to deal damage, bring that health bar all the way down, so that when the fight starts, he only has to do 1 or 2 shots if you do it correctly. Yep, and look at that. Barely a sliver left. It's Jump Guardian with a a foot on a banana peel and a foot in the grave. And these runners today, but also throughout this tournament, have been playing fast and loose with health in the Dark World. And there's Dark Torva's key number 3 that we know about. It's the second one that Lane has picked up. But we now have all 3 keys to Dark Torvus, so chat, if you want to see Chaika, we're getting dangerously close. And another ball down here, it is the boost ball. So very early on game, we have both of our important morph ball upgrades. Thank you, thank you. I see chat pointing out that Ing Reliquary has a beam-related upgrade. Looked like that possibly could have been a Sky Temple key up there. In this first room of Agon, I didn't get a good look at it. It's also very tough to see behind that Echo Gate, so. Yeah, Lane's play is really paying off here, though. Able to skip Space Jump. And went ahead into the Pirate Labs and grabbed Spider Ball, and that Spider Ball led him to his boost ball. So early game on, the advantage definitely going to be on Lane's side, just for having access to both those items. It's going to expand what he can pick up a little more. Oh, and I'm seeing our first Power Bomb that we know of is up there on top of the boost ball ramp. And any advantage that Lane has, though, is going to start to chip away because Kazuto went out of the way, back, checked the Dark Missile Trooper, grabbed his Dark Beam, and is now going to be running through Agon with a Dark Beam. So, going to be able to catch up a little bit. And as we're getting ready to approach the first half hour of this awesome race so far. Ooh, there's our light beam. As we're getting ready to approach the first half hour of this great race so far, make sure you give a follow to both of these runners. They're putting on a great show for us today, as well as many other matches in the tournament. And they're also always providing some awesome content on their own channels. It's stuff you're going to want to check out. And Kazuto was able to grab a pair of beam upgrades here, as Kazuto is armed with both the dark and light beam. And as I said a few moments ago, despite Lane grabbing Spider Ball early and Boost Ball early, he's going to have to double back for that Dark Beam. And it's just giving Kazuto a chance to really open up Agon, because those Dark and Light Beams can definitely hold back some access and routing here. And opening that access is going to give us some gravity boost. And a Dark Samus 1 fight on Kazuto's side. No power bombs yet that I've seen, so going to be a slightly more vanilla fight. You have the freedom now to blink. You won't miss this fight as you normally do in a rando run. For those of you that don't know, though, if you get to come into this fight armed with power bombs, you can more or less evaporate Dark Samus. I think that's a good descriptor of what happens. And yes, lightning, as you point out, it's pretty balanced. I think the edge that Lane had with that spider ball pickup pretty much disappeared because Kazuto was able to go through here initially with the dark beam, which we just saw Lane have to double back to grab. And where the location of the spider ball was and boost ball, then, you know, being led to by that, is definitely stuff that Kazuto is going to prioritize getting to once they have the space jump and other equipment. So, and we thank Dark Samus for actually hanging out with us a little bit today. She's always in such a rush to leave. Just another E-tank. But again, early on, not a bad pickup. We still don't have any knowledge on suit upgrades yet, so might be doing some sizzling as we have to go through some dark aether areas. Lane is going to take advantage of that boost ball. Going to grab a power bomb expansion sitting up here on the ledge. Definitely a great play. Yeah, I guess that's I wonder if there is any interesting explanation for Dark Samus's lack of hazardous exposure. There's those space jump boots. We knew they had to be around here somewhere. So I believe that room is in cache A. Feel free to correct me. I'm terrible with room names. I always rely on my co-coms to keep me straight with room names. Yeah, but Lane picking up those space jump boots, that's going to put us all the way back into logic. And Kazuto is going backwards through the pirate labs, so it'll be coming around the spider ball. Great question. Yeah. So I see a question in chat here. Dark and light suit, are they considered mandatory? They are not mandatory depending on the Sky Temple key layouts. The only thing that is mandatory is that you're able to reach the final bosses and defeat them. I would imagine that as far as difficulty is required, you would at least need the dark suit to survive. But if you have access to the keys in the boss fight, you're welcome to go ahead and do that. So that would all be within logic. Now, of course, certain keys can be light suit locked. If they're in one of the light beam columns, if they're in dark water. So there's always a chance that you'll be required to grab those. But no, they are not a hard requirement unless we know that they are locking key locations. Kazuto with no mercy over there, just destroying everything in that room. I love it. Gonna take a peek. Gonna see the morph ball. Knows that that's something they're gonna want to grab. Well, I will see. I've seen quite a few fights already in this tournament where runners have completed it on Dark Suit. I don't know that I've ever seen it completed on Various Suit, but you know, chat may be able to speak to that more than I can. And we have a light beam pickup on Lane's side with the spider ball pickup on Kazuto's side. Like I said, I appreciate your patience and your help, chat, because I am running tracker as well as calming for this. So trying to just keep a balance of everything that we're picking up here. Yeah, the atmosphere damage comes into play if the E-tanks are low. So if you're going, especially the runner, especially the caliber of these runners, if you're going into a final boss fight and you have 6, 7, 8 E-tanks, you know, I don't even think Dark Suit phases them. I don't think they consider it a crutch. Now, if you're really running low and can't find E-tanks, we've seen some seeds where, you know, E-tanks don't really pop up till the very end. So it is something to consider, but it is definitely possible. Kazuto taking a couple of attempts there with that scan dash to go ahead and skip over the need for space jump boots for now. Now we know that they're hiding out in cache A. And we saw Lane grab that on the second trip through Dark Agon. But with Kazuto's routing to come through here, I think that it's pretty much neck and neck at this point. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, Hydro Man. I didn't upset anybody. I think that they were possibly going to be running crewless for some of these. It's just a couple of races overlapped, and I happened to be available just in the nick of time. So I don't think of it as a punishment. I think of it as a awesome thing that I was able to be here and help. Lane grabbing the gravity suit. Wrong prime game. Grabbing the gravity boost and then taking the power bombs that he was able to grab because he had the boost ball. And gonna head into Sank. So we're gonna look at Sank on Lane's side. And it looks like a red key. Which red key? Ing Hive key. Oh no, I know. I do think it's funny though, because I'm trying to make sure I'm checking everything off and make sure I don't miss what happens on screen. But I'm having fun, and I hope that you guys are too, because this is a great race so far. What's hiding here in Culling Chamber? It looks like an E-tank? It looked like an E-tank. Didn't get a good look, though. Might have been a suit. Oh, yeah, it's an E-tank. And I think it's interesting, somebody was talking about in chat what the needs are about the suits. I think it's interesting to see Lane prioritize this E-tank since we haven't seen any suits pop up. And thank you, Lightning. We have a beam-related upgrade in the Dark Oasis. Yes, and I don't believe that Lane has even been over to Dark Samus, or Dark Samus 1 yet. He does have the power bomb, so that'll be a much quicker fight on Lane's side. And Lane doesn't want to take that spider ball any further into Sank. Looks like he's heading back to Agon. Now, as far as routing goes and kind of covering each other's steps, I have to imagine that Lane is going to take this DS1 fight and then head over to Jump Guardian. And hopefully we see an in-cache A. In-cache A or in-cache 1? Ah, I had it right earlier. I can't remember. Tongue-tied. Hopefully we see that in-cache check over here on Kazuto's side. That's where the space jump boots are hiding. Yes, indeed. Dark Samus, you've seen her. Then she's gone. She never wants to stick around. I don't know why. Yeah, we saw an E-Tank in the Dark Beam room. And Kazuto hot on the tail for those space jump boots. Going to be very happy with this pickup. Lightning Strike. Yeah, that is a good point. We are, looks like 5 E-Tanks deep on Lane side, and that is unusual, at least from the races and the races I've been a part of. Usually E-Tanks can be kind of a nuisance to pick up. They don't show up, or they're not very easily accessible early on, so a little more of a healthy seed here. Kazuto with some good routing to be able to come back through here with Spider Ball, picking up that boost ball. Yeah, and with the limited options that the runners have had, although Spider Ball Boost is going to open some stuff up, with the limited options we've had, you're seeing a lot of the runners prioritize these Agon checks, you know, retracing each other's steps. So we're pretty much even up at the count here. Kazuto getting the broom closet on their side, but it's not anything that they're happy to find. Yes, we saw that Dark Burst pickup on Lane side earlier. Looks like a missile tank sitting up there on the ledge. And I'm sorry, I misspoke earlier. I thought it was Kazuto that did Jump Guardian. I apologize. Lane did Jump Guardian earlier. Kazuto is taking Jump Guardian on currently. And armed with the light beam, it is a little easier to cut down damage quickly. Oh, I couldn't have been more wrong. It was super missiles up there on the ledge. Drop the mic. Now there's a dope pickup. Super missiles, definitely going to help us out. Yes, still missile related, thank you. So that's our third Dark Torvus key on Kazuto's side. I'm going to guess that Lane picked up the other key. Like I said, just between everything, I don't think I caught it, so. Yeah, Kazuto was in that room and did not pick up supers. But chat's saying that they think that he saw it, so at least he has the knowledge of where it is. He didn't have Spider because he went through their reverse pirate labs. And he didn't have Space Jump, so I'm not sure that there was a lot he could have done to grab it. But with the knowledge and the loadout he's got now, I imagine if he did see it, he's going to be heading right back over to grab that. Yeah, what started out as a rather vanilla opening has expanded to a lot of items hiding out in Agon. All told, we have 2 out of the 3 beams. We have both Morph Ball upgrades. We've got Supers and Seekers, Space Jump and Gravity Boost. A lot of movement. A lot of things are open to us right now. It will certainly be interesting to see what our runners prioritize as far as the routing choices they make. We also, I'm pretty sure with everything we can check Sky Temple key hints too. Even with the energy that we're at, that's, especially on lane side, that's a healthy amount of E-tanks to tank hits with, so. Not hits, dark atmosphere damage with. But Kazuto gonna give us a check over here that we haven't seen. Gonna get a look at what's behind this force field wall and what is in the dark version of this room. Yo, dark visor pick up on Kazuto's side. We just keep finding all the upgrades here. Oh, and an Inghive key. Thank you, chat. Appreciate that. Dark Visor, another one of those kind of hit or miss items. Sometimes you can not need it, and sometimes you're just locked behind it. So, oh. And screw attack on lane side. We are just rolling in good equipment. And thank you. Yes, the hint for Battlegrounds in cache I'm seeing was key related. Yo, shout out to chat for helping me keep all of this in line. So much appreciated, especially Lightning Strike right now. You're like my second pair of eyes. Taking advantage of that screw attack pickup, Lane is going to check Sand Canyon. It's just a missile tank, but with the routing, that is a nice... You just get it off your plate. You don't have to worry about it. Just pick it up real quick. And then taking advantage of that little bonk right there so that you respawn from the fall on the other side that you want to be on. And Kazuto is a couple of boost balls away from grabbing his screw attack. Boy, this seed just opens wide up. Yeah, and having screw attack locked in that spot, you can't do the screw attack glitch that a lot of people do, which lets you kind of shrink down and slip through the bars there. So we had to grab screw attack the regular old way. Torvis certainly makes sense. Have access to a lot of stuff in there. Normally, Torvis can be a bit of a tricky decision if you're missing supers. Or even Seekers, that locks a good portion of it. Some dark ammo here in Doomed Entry. Beam ammo, while does not really progress us at all, is always a nice thing to pick up. And there's that Inghive key on Kazuto's side as well. I mean, with all this gear, they're just locked and loaded. They're just ready to rock and roll. So much of this game is open to them. And Lane with a very nice find. Like we said, always nice to stumble upon a Sky Temple key when you can. So Light Beam today, still bringing some light to the world, as it's a Sky Temple key. And Kazuto showing us that he indeed got a peek of those super missiles. Prioritizing it, get right over there using the screw attack to grab that. Love it. That's right, chat. If you're joining us recently, take a look at those trackers. This is all found in Agon. We have only been to Agon. We did a little bit of a peek on Spider Side Sank, but there was nothing there. This just... Agon had a sale on everything that we were looking for tonight. And is this... Yep, the Battlegrounds play. It's just an E-Tank with lane where that loadout is. I don't think that he's interested in that. Although he could prove me wrong. Doesn't look like it. Oh. I don't know why I even bother making predictions. Lane deciding that it's not too close to dinner to make me eat my own words here. Gonna go ahead and take advantage of these light beam bubbles and power bombs, take down the Ing here, and gonna pick up another E-Tank for this battleground fight. Yeah, in chat we were talking a little bit about how E-Tanks can be hard to come by. That is not the case here. This is E-Tank the Seed. And Lane maybe needs to take some of this luck over to Vegas, stumbling upon yet another Sky Temple key. It's 3 STKs. Yes, they are more than healthy, this seed. That's the second STK pickup on Kazuto's side. And chat maybe can remind me what was in the Dark Battlegrounds in cache. I know we said it. We saw it. It's slipping my mind right now. But Kazuto's going to have a chance to grab that while he's over here, because he had the Dark Visor pickup. So we'll see if that comes into play. And as Lane is warping back to the starting ship point, that means it may be a little longer before he grabs that Dark Visor. Now that you say that, I believe it was a key. And this could be hints. And we've got there in the Ink Cache and Defiled Shrine is a key hint as well. And yeah, on Kazuto's side, we're going to get a look at this Ink Cache. This could be a big play. Yes, Lightning Strike. Scratching our heads here. Which key could be hiding in Defiled Shrine? But another STK pickup. You better believe that Lane is going to have to come back for that one, because the Ink Cache and Battlegrounds is a Sky Temple key, so vanilla there. And the Annihilator Beam was hinted at. I didn't get a full look at the hint. But it is one room away from something. Chat been doing a great job of keeping me honest tonight. Did anybody see what that was? An interesting strat on Kazuto's side. Using the Dark Beam, or I'm sorry, the Dark Visor to use the Light Beam to make a little quicker work, but you can shoot those Ings when they're in puddle form to melt them even further than they already are. And that is STK4 pickup on Kazuto's side. Nicely done, Kaz. taking advantage of that Dark Visor to be able to get a little bit of an edge in the STK count. Oh, and a slight bonk there. Normally, I'd be concerned, you know, bonking into Dark Aether when you're only on the various suit, but I really think that at this point, the E-Tank count is at a healthy spot. And speaking of healthy E-Tank counts, Lane is going to give us a look at our Sky Temple hints here. Oh, and I missed a key that Lane picked up. He is also on 4. So we have Aerial Training Site. Hive Dynamo Works. So that's 2 in the Ing Hive so far. Under Temple Access. And there's the Battlegrounds key that we know because Kaz just picked that up. And that key hint in Defiled Shrine is accurate because that's going to be something we're going to need to grab as well. And Kaz making a nice use of that boost ball to pick up his first Morph Ball Power Bomb expansion of the match here. Yeah, no Chaika again. Sorry, chat. I want to see Chaika at least once this tournament, too. And it looks like Kazuto has the same thing in mind, which makes perfect sense. I mean, you're fully stocked, right, as far as gear goes. So why not just go ahead and get a look at what you need? Maybe make quick use of this seed here and put it to bed early. I mean, we already knew that Lane was going to have to grab that Dark Visor for the Battlegrounds key, but the Defiled Shrine key is just icing on the cake there. Lane really needs to get that Dark Visor pickup. And unfortunately for Lane, thank you, chat. Unfortunately for Lane, with the loadout being so broad, it may be a little bit before he makes his way back over there. The Dark Visor is just hiding out up on top behind that force field right outside of the Pirate Labs. No, I haven't seen a hint for the Dark Visor. Kazuto was fortunate to stumble upon it. And there's our, I think that was the 100th E-Tank we've seen so far in this race. Yes, I believe that we're in go mode. I'm trying to run my mind through quickly everything that we may need access to. I think we can get to everything that... Oh, I missed that one. What I always lose track of is when you need a certain translator to get somewhere. That's one of those things that I'll put my foot in my mouth all too often and say, oh, yeah, we're in go mode. And then be locked behind an amber translator somewhere. So other than translators that I can think of, I think that Kazuto was in go mode. I mean, a suit would be a great pickup. He's actually a healthy chunk of E-Tanks behind where Lane is at, so the prospects of him surviving in various suit are a little more slim for final bosses, but He could certainly stumble upon a suit at any moment. Yeah, Kaz definitely could not do final bosses on Varia with, I think he's at 5 tanks. But the E-tanks are available because Lane's been stumbling upon them too. So we know that Kaz could get as far up to, I think Lane is at 8 tanks. Be interesting to see where Lane decides to search. Lane is looking for the Dark Visor. He does not know where it is. Also, probably still looking for a suit too, but definitely not as big a priority in his mind. And no, Darkstar, Lane does not know the location of that Dark Visor. Yes, movement system can only refer to grapple at this point, as we've already grabbed everything else that I believe that hint can refer to. Lane gonna scan for reliquary here. And that reliquary hint is just a beam-related upgrade. We did see that already on Kaz's side, but in case anyone forgot. The Dark Visor was behind the wall, the force field wall in the room outside of Pirate Labs with the cannons. I don't know if we've seen what was under the Sky Temple Temple Ground save station. But Kaz is going to give us a look at the hints for his side. Oh, and I missed a key pickup at Hazing Cliff. I was just about to say, now how is it that Kaz is turning in 4 keys as well? So Lane did make a dip earlier into Spiderside Sank, checked Hazing Cliff, and apparently grabbed a Sky Temple key. And oddly enough, that is often a Sky Temple key. I don't know if there's anybody who keeps statistics out there, but I'd be interested to know how many times Hazing Cliff has been an STK. So yeah, so we are all paired up at 4 apiece, but we've had access to some different things here. So armed with the Dark Visor, Kaz is going to be able to grab... I would imagine he'll pick up this Defiled Shrine one too while he's here. No reason not to. Although it is an easy grab on your way into for final bosses. And I'm going to keep my fingers crossed here. Lane is heading into Agon. This could be a check. And he might prioritize it because he knows that there's a key in the Battlegrounds in cache. But we'll have to see. Kaz has a little less energy than Lane did when he came around here, so just a nice hard reset. He'll take that knowledge, write it down, and move on. Yeah, and with that reset, Kaz will just have to pick up Defiled Shrine on his way into the Emperor Ing fight. It's a free key. It's just sitting there. And to put his mind at ease a little bit, he already has the Dark Visor, so doesn't really have to worry about grabbing that one. And when we see the Torvis dip here on lane side, I really hope we see a hint for that Dark Visor, because it looks like Lane is moving a little further away from it. Now, armed with the Emerald Translator, we're going to have plenty of access to hints here as well as some Translator gates. So there's plenty of hope that Lane gets a hint for that Dark Visor. Hive Key 2 showing up. And I think that said Torvis Access is where our Amber Translator is hiding out tonight. Yeah, I definitely like this play on lane side. You have to go to Under Temple, so you get a little bit of access to some Emerald hints while you're kind of snooping around here. But you also pick up something that you're going to have to come back for anyway. So it's a great play. I like to call them thinking plays. You can kind of autopilot through this and let your brain kind of cycle through where are some other places that I want to go if this doesn't pan out. And a red temple key hiding out on Meditation Vista. I'm a little surprised we're still going for this. Dark Agon key. It's our first one that I've seen. Yeah, swing and a miss on lane side, but he's easily go ahead and reset that and do it again. Nice grab. And Kazuto with the same thought process. Taking that Torvis ramp at the top, Torvis elevator at the top of the ramp. Okay, so yes, that was Torvis Temple access. Thank you, chat. I just saw the hint on Kaz's side, so that's where our Amber Translator is. And it is a good thing that power bombs aren't like an OP item that just evaporates anything that's on screen, right? Because where would the fun in that be? And get some hype, chat, because I think we're going to see Boost Guardian. Everyone's favorite boss, who I'm sure tormented them their first couple of plays through this game. I know it was an awful boss fight for me when I was learning the game. And the game explained to us how to use the boost ball that we've had for about 45 minutes at this point. Yeah, I think the suit is going to be the really big find. If one of our players is able to come across a suit that the other one just kind of skips or doesn't make it around to, that's going to really tip the balance. Right now, the only real difference is that Lane did not grab the Dark Visor. Kaz picked that up. It is behind the force field of the room outside of the Pirate Labs. I think another really nice quality of life pickup would be a power bomb expansion. Both of our runners are still sitting at 1 PB apiece. And there it is. See, we just kind of spoke it into the ether, or the aether, if you will. It's some hype. Lane with a big pickup. That's the dark suit. I have to imagine that Kaz well on the way for that Dark Suit grab as well. I mean, if Kaz jumps over this for a little bit, it'll give Lane some time to make up. He just needs to come across that Dark Visor. That's what he's looking for right now. Yes, the good old days of Super Metroid power bombs. It's not even the pickups, though. Even if they had the one, they're just still kind of sitting stuck on that one expansion. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, every expansion was 5 PB. I got you. And we have an expansion there on lane side, but it's just another missile tank. I think we're well up in the count of missiles as far as these runners are concerned. I mean, Lane may consider fighting Chaika because that's the vanilla Dark Visor. So he could do it. It's not going to help him, but he certainly could do it. I like to think, though, Lane has some other places to check out first. It might be one of those for Lane's thinking, like, if it's there, I lost it. Yes, we do get that grapple beam pickup. And, oh, some good advice about laying bombs. Thank you, game. In case you didn't know, you can just press a button there and lay bombs in Morph Ball. I'll tell you, this game is... Their hint system is just filled with the depths of knowledge, right? And we are seeing some out-of-bounds stuff on lane side. Very nice. I'm not even going to begin to pretend that I understand how this stuff works. What I do know is it's awesome, and these runners do a great job of taking advantage of a game that is very well put together. Not broken in the slightest, right? Yeah, that Torvis Temple access pickup of the Amber Translator on Kaz's side. Getting a little stuck in the ceiling there. Yes, the out of bounds is definitely not considered in the game's logic as far as how the progression will expect you to obtain items. So all the seeds are completable without that. But it is definitely a fair play if you want to make it. So we do see, I think that was the Annihilator Beam in Path of Roots. And speaking of needing some Power Bomb expansions... Oh no, just the Sonic Boom, sorry. It looked Annihilator-esque, right? Speaking of Power Bomb expansions, though, Lane gets a nice break there. Chaika is guarding a Power Bomb expansion. And as nice as more PBs would be, that's not going to be something we're grabbing. And getting a reset here on lane side. Hopefully everything's okay with the stream. Okay, yeah, looking good. I always get nervous when I see a blue screen in text. Was that a crash? Or was it a reset? Oh, no, that's a crash. We'll have to see where that picks back up. I honestly was looking at Kaz's side for a second. I don't know what happened. Fingers crossed that everything is okay or that Lane is saved recently. Yeah, Yeah, I was going to say, if it's a reset, it should just go to this screen. So I'm thinking that there was an issue. Let's see where his save pops up. It is Dark Torvus. I think he saved... I know he saved right before Boost Ball. Boost Guardian, sorry. So that's good. I think that's pre-Dark Suit pickup for sure, though. Yeah, so we go ahead and lose that real quick. Oh. Well, good news for you guys. I didn't even mark it off, so that was easy to take away. Yeah, that was a save right before Boost Guardian. I do remember him making that one. And it was a crash on the out of bounds right over top of that door. Actually, if anything, he didn't lose too much. Did lose the Dark Suit, but it's right here. And he didn't get anything good from Boost Guardian, so really can just skip it. And we are going to have pretty much simultaneous Dark Suit pickups here as Kazuto picks up the Dark Suit on his side, and... Oh, yeah, there we go. And Lane's going to be grabbing the Dark Suit on that same side. Yeah, I know that it has to do with memory overloads and having a certain amount of rooms loaded at the same time. But honestly, all things considered, he's pretty much right back where he was at this point. Now, Kaz did take a long time to kind of route in that Dark Suit pickup. And that kind of ate up any of the time that Lane had to backtrack and grab that Dark Visor. So, pretty tight race at this point. No one's ever really out of it. Anything can happen in Rando. But I just get the sense right now, Kaz pretty much has everything that he needs to prioritize going to get those keys. And Lane is going to be making progress on keys for sure, but is not going to be able to get at least 2 of them without that Dark Visor, so... And just to recap for you, chat, Dark Visor is sitting down behind that force field shield in Agon where the pirate labs are. Yeah, that's true. You always have a chance until you see that dot done. And whenever I'm calming, I always like to pull for both runners because we've seen some crazy things. If you've watched any Rando, not just Echoes, but any Rando, some wild stuff can happen. Yeah, and something like finding that suit sitting there, that's one of those thoughts that Kaz, may change the way that he's going to play the rest of this because he thinks, oh, Lane picked this up 40 minutes ago. But, it's tough. But he doesn't know it yet, but he's sitting in a pretty good spot right now. 5 E-Tanks, Dark Suit, and all the movement that this game has to offer. Like we said about how, things can turn at any moment, a translator hint that has, information about where Dark Visor is could put Lane right back in this. And I think the real kind of search that Kaz might be doing is picking up some stuff along the way because more PBs would certainly be helpful. By no means are they required, but it would certainly make that phase 2 of Emperor Ing a lot easier. They're still sitting at 1 power bomb each. And both of our runners have had the gravity boost for well over at least an hour now, maybe. So navigating down here through Lower Torvis will not be an issue. But we get treated to some great music on Kaz's side. Lane checking out the Torvis energy controller. Not really getting anything helpful. Picking up the grapple beam, as well as some great information about how to lay bombs in case he wasn't sure. And it's always nice when you can come down to Under Temple, pick up an STK, and not have to fight Powerbomb Guardian. Yeah, and with that grab, I believe that we're just gonna grab a towel, dry off, and head back up top. We're done down here. So 5 keys deep, just as a reminder. We have 2 keys, I believe. Might be 3 keys left to pick up in Sank. And then we have that Defiled Shrine key pickup on our way in as far as the STKs that Kaz hasn't located yet. Kaz going to be routing this, I would imagine, taking the training chamber elevator so you can sneak right into Sank. It's a good way to get over there from where he is. And a major upgrade I didn't see where. Chat wants to throw that up. Let me know. And as Kaz gets ready to leave on Command Center, thank you. Wait, Command Center, isn't that, yeah, that's the room. Again, I will greatly apologize. Whenever I comm, I always have a co-comm who knows exactly every room name, and I'm always having to confer with them to make sure I have the room names correct. There's some I probably know about 70% of the room names. But Command Center is the room with the cannons and the force field. Is that correct? Okay, it's Central Mining Station. All right. My apologies. See, that's why I didn't want to go for it. I got excited. I thought Lane was going to get a good hint that drove him over there. Thank you so much, THK. And with this wonderfully humbling moment, I will never forget the name of that room again. Lane letting us know that fighting the Alpha Blog, if you know some good maneuvering, is totally optional. But Lane did grab main PB pickup down there by the blog. So that's going to put Lane at 4 power bombs, which is a very nice upgrade. But certainly not going to make a big enough of a difference here. And I think Kaz took a spy of the Cobalt Translator, which we're not going to need for this run. Yeah, and when Kaz was down here, I mean, he had everything that he already needed. Lane, unfortunately, is still on the hunt for a Dark Visor, so he's going to take the time to fight the Powerbomb Guardian, which, you know, is just going to kind of bring him further off the scent of where he needs to be. Can't blame him, though. Totally makes sense to prioritize this while you're down here. And Lane, disappointed to see a missile expansion. Oh, and some fancy boost ball shots here. Kaz grabbing the E-Tank. While he's on Dark Suit, it's still, I think, a good play. It's, what, 45 seconds to pick this item up? So I definitely agree with that E-Tank grab. You see him, you got to pick him up. And I won't argue that Kaz is definitely comfortable right now as far as having to do final bosses in Dark Suit only. But like I said, it's 45 seconds. You'd hate to take a death, you know, when you could have just burned 45 seconds to grab it. So we'll not argue with that play at all. And as we suspected, we're seeing Lane do a little more exploration than he needs to do down here. And always impressive. I love seeing the Seeker shot from the other side on Kaz's side. Nicely done. Well, chat, if you were in the mood to see some extra Guardian fights, Lane is treating you to it. We're going to see the Grapple Guardian on this side. Thank you, chat, pointing out that we actually will need the Cobalt Visor for one of the keys. Hive Dynamo Works is definitely Cobalt locked. So that means that if he saw a visor, yeah, it probably was Echo, although still odd because Echo locks a lot of things. So yeah, we are on a Cobalt Visor hunt, which makes a lot more sense for some of these little more out of the way checks we've been seeing. And Lane treating us to a Cannonball pickup. Always a fun little item to find. Yeah, Cobalt very well could be behind Echo. That's why I'm interested to see what the skip was there. I didn't get a good look at the item, but chat's saying it was a visor, and chat's eyes are way better than mine. Well, with the realization of that Cobalt need, This could be a big hunt for something, because if Lane stumbles upon Cobalt with some of these extra checks that he's doing, especially down here in Under Temple and Lower Torvis, that could turn into a situation for Kaz. And just a beam-related upgrade and a movement system hinted at. Kaz happy to pick up power bombs, although I just saw him scan a Cobalt hint, so Kaz has Cobalt. I didn't see it. I have no idea where he picked it up. Either I'm hallucinating or I totally missed something. And another Dark Agon key. Hiding down here in Lower Torvis. Yeah, the light beam check was or the light beam room was a Sky Temple key. And it looks like Lane is checking through some stuff here. And what is the treasure that the Chozo gave us? I think it's just a missile tank. A treasure so valuable that we can find them anywhere. Oh, and there's an Echo Visor hint, though. I'm honestly waiting to see if Kaz scans any more Cobalt stuff. I thought he grabbed the hint off of in the Umos up near the Sank Energy Controller. But it was the Echo hint, so that was Echo that we saw Kaz skip over earlier. Yeah, I guess I must just have looked between two quickly. I thought I saw Kaz get a hint from the Cobalt hint in the Sank Energy transfer, but I guess it just rejected him. I honestly didn't catch it. I thought I saw him get a hint from it, so I was very confused. That makes more sense, though. Not only does it make sense that for him not being able to get the hint, but it makes sense for why I haven't seen him, double time it over to Spider Guardian if that's where he knows that is. So we are still on a Cobalt hunt. And we're in Transit Station here on Lane side, also going to get a look at that Echo Visor. But he does get the screw attack jump. Oh, but misses the quick morph to the spider there. An Echo Visor for Lane. Not the visor he wanted to see. But this could be super helpful. Because if Cobalt is echo locked, you know, that gives Lane a little bit of a pickup. And is that Cobalt? It looked like a visor to me. Yes. I can confirm we have the Cobalt visor up there. So that's rough for Lane. He's going to pick up the Cobalt, which he needs. But he still hasn't grabbed the Dark visor. But then on the other hand, depending on how Kaz routes this, Kaz could grab the Echo visor and start prioritizing Echo checks. Although I imagine Lane will be prioritizing Echo checks right now too. Threads the needle though and grabs that Cobalt translator. I am always so impressed at the way that our runners are able to navigate these rooms using like screw attack, clipping, and it's just awesome to watch. Yeah, see, this is what I was a little bit afraid of on Kaz's side. Thank you, chat. I did check off Echo. It's just not updating for some reason. Here we go. This is what I was a little bit afraid of on Kaz's side. He's taking the Echo visor and possibly using that as the breadcrumb trail. And that's not the direction he needs to go. Kaz's Cobalt translator is sitting right there up top. In that little spider ball puzzle. Just a few rooms from where he was in Sanctuary. I see chat saying rip to Kaz there, but how long before Lane goes back over to Agon? I mean, both our runners kind of left behind separate items that they need and are just completely down the wrong rabbit hole for both. Yeah, he passed up on Cobalt. He was in the room. There's a possibility that he thought it was Echo, but there's two problems with that. One of them is he had just been in transit station, so he would have seen another visor, so he would have known that both visors are there. You know, one of them could have been, you know, either one could have been the other, but he would have had the knowledge, so I don't think he got a look at that item. But then the problem again with that, the other problem with that theory is that he got a hint for where Echo was immediately after that. So if he thought that was Echo, then he knew that that was Cobalt just by process of elimination. Yeah, he saw whatever visor was in transit, passed up on it, got a hint that it was Echo, and went back. And to be clear, in his defense, he did not pass up hard on it. He tried the screw attack, just didn't make it, and decided he'd move on. So he definitely went for Echo. But after getting the hint, doubled back and got it. Yeah, I mean, Bellator, you're right, it could hurt him, definitely. But I have no idea when Lane is going to go back for his Dark Visor. So it's really a matter of which runner goes back. They've both been in the rooms they need to be in. Yeah, Lane's Dark Visor is hiding out in the room right before the Pirate Labs. Yeah, Central Mining Station. It's up there next to the Key Bearer. And that's the thing. That's what really stinks is both of our runners have kind of been where they need to be. Spent a lot of time in those rooms already and just missed out on some items. And it's tough because a lot of times you look quickly and you think you see something, you think it's a missile tank or you think it's, an energy tank, and you just pass up on it. And oftentimes that is kind of the nail in the coffin for a runner. But right here, we're watching both of our runners who have put on great performances, great routing, great execution. But both of our runners have kind of oopsed, if you will, over an item that they had full access to and just didn't think to grab it or check it. I'm not sure which, but it's really going to come down to whoever, kind of makes up the ground first. Oof is right, Bellator, for sure. Well, if you're a fan of Kaz in this tournament, then you're going to want to see him make progress back over to Sank. And if you are in Lane's corner, you're going to want to see some Agon waste showing up on the scene. And that is another STK grab. The ATS pickup there for Lane. And interesting with the power bomb count where it's at, Kaz choosing to not pick that expansion up. It's your regular PB, upgrade, so that would have been 3 bombs instead of just your regular 1. But Lane not interested in the quote-unquote Chozo treasure either, as it's your common run-of-the-mill missile tank. Yeah, folks, we have a tough turn here. It's really going to come down to which runner thinks, what have I overlooked first? And all the lead that Kaz had in the beginning, not the beginning, sorry, about 2/3 of the way through so far, Kaz had a commanding lead just because of his Dark Visor access. But now we're seeing Kaz retrace the steps that we saw Lane making earlier, so I would have to say that this is about as neck and neck as you can possibly be. And if we need a dark ammo expansion, we know that quad's on the table. Yeah, another seed with no major bosses. I don't believe we had a hint for a Morbus, but we know at this point that it's dead. And unfortunately, still both our runners are in places that they really don't need to be at all. They don't know it, or they would get out of there, I'm sure, but yeah, Kaz needs to make his way back over to Sank, and Lane needs to hightail it over to Agon. We are in full visor hunt mode. The question comes down to which of our runners will be seeing clearly. And today's starting location, Lightning Strike, was at Samus's ship. So a restart would probably be just as efficient for Lane to just normally go through. Actually, it's probably even quicker for Lane to just head over to Spider Side Sank, Agon Elevator. And is this? Yes. Get some hype in chat. It's not every day that we see an airy fight. Armed with the Echo Visor, Lane knows he can get out of here. I would imagine, I've been jumping back and forth. I would imagine Lane saved, and if he gets a peek of this item, he can just hard reset. I honestly love when we see boss fights or room checks that are just very uncommon. And Kaz taking a save in lower Torvis. Let's see what his decision is. We also haven't seen the Annihilator Beam, so that really doesn't open a drastic amount of Echo Visor checks for Kaz. Yeah, and Lane doing exactly as I expected. Getting a look. Not happy with the reward for Airy today. And taking that hard reset. And while Lane resets, we get a starting room reset on Kaz's side. Back at the ship. It was all hot airy today, THK. Yeah, I'm mad at myself for that pun, too. So, I mean, I have to say I appreciate that Kaz is being thorough. He's really going out there with the equipment that he has, checking some of the Sky Temple ground checks here. It's just a bummer because he was right under his Cobalt. I didn't get a good look at it, but nothing that screamed Cobalt Translator to Kaz, so... Oh, and it appears that Kaz passed up on the light of my life. Bringing Sunburst into the room is not going to be something today. There it is. I was just about to say it. Lane is armed with knowledge more than anything. The Dark Visor. Information. Now, it wasn't exactly 3 rooms hint away, and I didn't get to read the whole hint, so it may not have been as big a play. But he is in Agon. He is looking. He knows he's some things. He's checking white dots. I have to say that might be the hint that saves the game. Now, I did see him count over its 2 and check that Echo locked, a Morbus locked item as well. So hopefully he doesn't go all the way out of the way and fight the worms, but even still, I think that Lane, if nothing else, is able to wrap up Spider Guardian here and get the Hive Dynamo key. And he'll at least be in the right area. He'll be searching, like in a hot and cold race. He'll be searching hot. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. I saw him counting rooms and checking mining. But even still, I think he's at least going to be in the right area. Because don't forget, not only does Kaz have to find Cobalt, and double back for Cobalt because he was under Cobalt and passed it up. Not only is he going to need to find that, but he's going to have to do all this Spider Guardian fight and stuff that Lane is doing. So Lane has some time to think. You know, think through that play. I just, honestly, my dream seed right here is that they grab their go mode right around the same time. and can make the progress to where they need, because even after Lane has that Dark Visor pickup, he's still going to have to go back through, get the Dark Battlegrounds key, in cache and Battlegrounds. So I would love to see a really tight race wrapping up here. Yeah, and it is a 50-50 toss-up. I have to think, and chat, feel free to weigh in on this. I have to think that Lane would at least check the force field, just even if he takes a peek at it, before you go through the whole thing of fighting a Morbus and returning the energy and nonsense, because that is just a huge amount of time to invest. Yes, and as chat pointing out, thank you, THK, power bombs will not insta-kill Spider Guardian in the Rando. So it's a nice little fix that they do for us so that you can't accidentally make the Spider Guardian fight impossible to finish. Because despite all the weapons and loadout that Samus ends up in this game with, she cannot break those little electric columns. It is a gift only the Spider Guardian has. And we see Kaz in Torvis. Just as a friendly reminder, if you've been enjoying what you're seeing so far, please give a follow. Right there, the links to Kaz, Kazuto, and I'm Lane1. These runners are putting on a great display of excellent rando playing today. Very intense. And not only are they heavily involved in this tournament, but they're always streaming their own content for you guys to enjoy. So please give them a follow and support. They're both excellent runners and streamers. I don't know about you, chat, but I am on the edge of my seat right now. I can't. It's just who's going to make the play. Lane got some good, juicy information. He knows where he needs to go, kind of. He got a general hint that puts him in the area he needs to be. But that doesn't mean that he'll make the right choice. And oh my gosh, 1:29 in the morning. Lightning Strike, thank you so much for sticking with us. I mean, how could you sleep, though, knowing that this could go any way? I couldn't fall asleep right now if I were you. And Kaz, we're going to have to check with him if he's able to do a post-race interview. We're going to have to find out what the deal was with the Cobalt. He was in the vicinity. He saw Echo in transit station. We have to believe that he saw the the Cobalt visor too, thinking maybe it was Echo. But nevertheless, when he got the Echo hint, he only went back for Echo visor in transit. So I think the general consensus is he did not look up at that item. Which is a real bummer because he was right there. Kaz grabbing another Agon key and just seeing what looks like an E-tank up here. Although maybe I didn't see it right because Kaz is going for it. Maybe he figured it's already worth his time. Oh no, it was the Annihilator beam. My goodness. I am blind. It hurts because with Echo and Annihilator, it's the it's kind of the get distracted starter set here. It's everything you need to not check where you need to go. Although most of the Annihilator and Echo checks are in Sank. So maybe it'll lead him over there. And we do see Lane where he needs to be. Now, without Echo, it won't matter for Lane. He can't check that mining plaza gate without Echo. So really holding out that Lane is just going to go right over and grab this Dark Visor. Yes, thank you, Bellator. It's just a lot of one-off checks that Kaz now has to think are considerably in logic. I appreciate Lane taking the time to check Sand Cache since it was, it's kind of 50% of the compliment. And he is handsomely rewarded there, as a light suit pickup is pretty much going to do it for all the energy worries that at what looks like 9 or 10 tanks definitely did not matter anymore. But Lane is in the right direction. Or he was in the right direction. What just happened? Chat, what happened? Lane walked in, he stepped in, and he decided it wasn't worth it. Yeah, I mean, I get it, but you also don't know where Annihilator Beam is yet. So this is... It's one thing. I understand the check for the knowledge, but you were already in the room where the other item could have been. And Lane is Echo locked without this. Not Echo locked, I'm sorry. Annihilator locked for that check anyway. Oh, it isn't? Thank you. I thought those were Annihilator checks. So never mind. I apologize. I spoke out of turn. It is just the Echo and Energy Translator. See, this is why I need a co-com, I'm telling you. They keep me straight. They keep me in line. For being 329th in line, you'd think I'd stay in line better. Yes, Lane is in the room he needs to be in. He is a mere seconds away from that Dark Visor grab. Oh, Lane, what's this? What's this behind the force field? What is it that's... There we go. Break that wall. I'm sure that Lane is kicking himself right now, having to double back and still break the wall. There it is. Lane, at 1 hour and 58 minutes, has reached go mode. With that Dark Visor pickup, that was huge. Huge. Yeah, he's right next to that. We might have missed him grab a key somewhere because it would... Can't think of anything else that he didn't prioritize. So there's a key here in the Battlegrounds in cache that needs to be grabbed, and there's a key in Defiled Shrine that needs to be grabbed. And like I said, he may have picked up another key. I might have just missed it. Yep, right there. That is the Battlegrounds key grab. Lane needs to double time back over to the ship and get things started. Now, see, with the starting location at the ship, this might be a nice time to just make a save warp. Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow on Kaz's side. Not peeking up at that item, that Spider Ball item in Sanctuary really ended up costing him this one. Like we said earlier, it's definitely not over, but certainly, certainly well on its way to being over as we cross that 2-hour mark. But I have to say, and these runners for the last 2 hours have put on an awesome show. Just a great display of execution and knowledge of the game. Love seeing great movement. There we go. Thank you, chat, pointing out that, yeah, I thought it was the Hive Dynamite, which makes sense as to why Lane wasn't able to grab that. I was wondering where we were down a key, so that makes more sense. Thank you for piecing that together for me. So it's given Kaz a little more time. He's going to have to go back through. He's not going to have to fight the Spider Guardian, but he is going to be able to just kind of zoom through there and pick that up. Well, on one hand, I feel good because I didn't miss a key pickup, but on the other hand, I apologize for jumping through that and clicking it. But nonetheless, we're back on track now. So that was quite a few STKs were locked by that Dark Visor. We had at least 3 that I can think of that were vanilla. Well, Lane gonna try to clip backwards through this using the screw attack, which makes your collision the size of a morph ball, so you can kind of slide into this. I mean, my hat's off to him. I can't do any of these tricks, so I think they're all impressive, to be honest. Oh, is it the Instamorph? Yeah, I was gonna say, this Spider Ball track should be open because he did fight Spider Guardian. And while Lane is trying to... Oh, here we go. Looks like we're getting some out of bounds here. Come on, Lane. I'm nervous. He's already... He did have a little bit of an issue crashing earlier with an out-of-bounds trick, so I'm holding my breath, Lane. Come on. Yeah, and I have no idea where Lane saved last. He's made a lot of progress, as far as I can remember. He does know where everything is now, but still... Chat giving me some peace of mind saying that this shouldn't crash. And Kaz is just running around. Now, Kaz did grab Light Suit over there from Sand Cache. Always a nice quality of life pickup. And Kaz is just scanning through, combing the wilderness of Aether here. Where could that Cobalt Translator be in Kaz's mind? And I see a reset on Lane's side, and I'm scared. Where did Lane save? Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have Dark Visor, so I'm imagining he's at least 1 or 2 keys back. And still in Dark Suit, if that's... Yeah, well, he picked up Light Suit right before he grabbed... Give me a second to get this tracker back updated. He picked up Light Suit right before he grabbed Dark Visor, so that's also going to be gone. The bummer for Lane is he has the time to do it. I mean, he obviously doesn't know this, but Kaz is still just kind of combing around, so Lane has time to pick it back up. Good on you, Lane. I'm happy to see him moving forward. I was really nervous that he was going to call it at that. I think some congrats, some hype is in order in chat for Lane committing to this and going through. Yeah, and I was just about to say, as chat points out, this is all execution on Lane's side. He knows where everything is. So... And if... Yeah, so this is pre-Spider Guardian, so he's not going to be able to use that track, but no problem. Lane, like a boss, just going right up with that slope jump. I love it. So the only kind of possible breath of relief here on Lane's side is when he does go through, he can just do Spider right from the beginning and be done. I don't know if Lane grabbed Cobalt before he saved, so we'll have to wait and see on a scan or something. But he does know where it is regardless, so... So Kaz over here in Dark Pirate Labs. Kaz doesn't know it yet, but Lane has gifted him quite a bit of time to make a big play and jump right back in this. For those of you maybe joining late, Kaz passed up on the Cobalt translator without realizing it. We're pretty sure that he didn't look up at the item. It was the tiny Spider Ball track Morph Ball hole in the room with the... oh my gosh, where are my co-coms with room names? It's the one where the map station and save station are in sync. There's an item up top there. And Kaz just didn't take a peek. Reactor core I'm seeing, thank you. Your guess is better than mine, so I appreciate it. Now, chat is the real co-commentator here for me, so the MVP is chat for sure. Everybody in there, you have my love and appreciation. I am flying solo as well as tracking for this race, so it's been a lot to, no pun intended, keep track of. But yeah, if you're just joining us, I see a couple of new names popping up in chat. If you're just joining us, Lane had a crash. Lane was in go mode. So, Lane needs to grab 3 keys, all of which are Dark Visor locked. Thank you, Bellator. I appreciate that. And Lane must have picked up the Dark Visor while I was seeing what Kaz was doing, because with all the knowledge he has no business being in Battlegrounds without a Dark Visor right now. So Lane, yep, Lane making that progress after the crash, which was so unfortunate. It's heartbreaking to see that happen, but if you're a fan of close races, maybe it was just what we needed to give Kaz a chance to snoop around a little more. And if you are joining us late, this has been a tale of rando heartbreak. Both of our runners We're doing a fantastic job going through, but unfortunately, Lane just didn't grab the Dark Visor earlier. I don't know if it was that he didn't see it or thought it was something else. And Kaz didn't grab the Cobalt Translator. Both runners were in the vicinity. If the items were snakes, it could have bit them. But for whatever reason, it just made for a better race. And the big edge was that Lane, using the Cobalt Translator, got a hint for the Dark Visor and put the pieces together to grab that, and that is where we sit now. And once again, please give these runners a follow. They are not only putting on a great job here in this Metroid Prime 2 tournament, but they're always providing great content on their streams. And if you're enjoying this, it's stuff you don't want to miss over there. So support these runners. They're putting on a great show for us today. No, Kaz did not grab Hive Dynamo Works because he is missing the Cobalt Translator. Now, I know you can do some out-of-bounds stuff to get there, but I did not see him do any of that, so... The keys that Kaz are missing are the Hive Dynamo Hive Dynamo Works, my apologies. And the Defiled Shrine. And the keys that Lane are missing, he picked up the Battleground one. I need to check that back off. The keys that Lane are missing are the same two. The only advantage that Lane has is Cobalt to go ahead and go through the vanilla path. Yeah, there was actually a point in time, I'd say about half an hour ago, maybe closer to 45 minutes ago, I had the wrong room written down, and I thought Cobalt wasn't needed. So I thought Kaz had been in go mode, but I saw him checking all these items, and then we started to kind of put two and two together. We realized that we needed that Cobalt Translator, so I certainly misspoke about 45 minutes ago, but nonetheless, we've put the puzzle back together, and we're here. Lane hightailing it over to Spider Side Sank, no doubt. And my hope is either that he saves if he's going to attempt that out-of-bounds trick again, or he's just going to go through this vanilla and go toe-to-toe with the Spider Guardian round 2. And yes, chat, thank you for that synergy here. Please, Lane, save. Please save if you're going to go for that out-of-bounds trick. And our runners are at pretty healthy E-Tank counts, so I'm not completely surprised that Lane didn't grab the light suit, but he did have it before he crashed. Lane had the light suit. Kaz currently has the light suit. It's sitting there in Sand Cache, if you missed it. I'm literally terrified right now. What is Lane doing? I didn't see him save. Yeah, I'm with you, THK. I feel like the light suit pickup was kind of free. It was right there. You were in Battlegrounds. There's grab it. Oh, I can't watch Lane do this again. But that's why Lane is a rando tournament runner and I am not, because with great bravery he goes right back into it. I see Lane take a tumble, but I'm not sure. I'm not familiar enough with out of bounds to know if this is as doomed as it was before. I'm seeing chat say that it's recoverable, so I may have to look away. I don't know if my heart can do this. Oh, did he reset? I feel like we said it. I feel like we all said it. If you're at home, if you're in chat, you said it. Please lane save before you try that again. For a third time on the reset, or yeah, for a third time here taking a swing. Will Lane push ahead still? I was really impressed. Oh wait, I see a save somewhere. All right, I must have missed it. Okay, all right. Well, that's a good sign. At least Lane saved with the Dark Visor and some of the key progress that he made. I missed that save. I feel way better about this, seeing that. Yep, he would have saved right after the battleground key. All right, we can all let out a collective sigh of relief. But I will say, and this is why I was a little nervous of Lane not going through the vanilla way. If you take a look at Kaz's screen, he is somewhat where he needs to be. He has been clearing all sorts of the terrain, traveling through the wilderness of Aether here, and has found his way back to Sanctuary Fortress, which is where he needs to be. Kaz is, if you're a fan of Lane, Kaz is dangerously close to that Cobalt Translator, which is going to pretty much even up the race completely. And if you're anything like me, you want to see a neck-and-neck Emperor Ing fight. So, as awful as it is to see Lane have to take a couple of resets there, this could end up being a very close race. Yeah, Lane has just a slight edge as far as time goes. But this could be as simple as Kaz going the vanilla way after he picks up this Cobalt, and Lane having trouble with that clip. Yeah, and I will definitely agree that there was no business picking up that light suit on the second pass through. I think the first time, I totally could have justified grabbing that light suit from Sandcash, but after another reset, I mean, I can only imagine that Lane is just, I don't know how he's even watching the screen when he just got to be watching for that dot done. So just as much as we were trying to will Lane to save, chat, let's send some vibes to Kaz to look up. And on Kaz's side, 2 hours and 18 minutes, we are landing go mode with that Cobalt Translator pickup. And this is what I just finished saying it. Lane's trying to skip again. Kaz could go through this the vanilla way and just finish. Both of our runners, several times in this race, have shown that it is truly not over. You are not out until it's over. Lane, you have no idea how close you're cutting it by doing this. Lane is trying to avoid the Spider Guardian fight. He did it once, but didn't have the Dark Visor to grab the Ing cache. He just fell off again. Now, again, chat has had to guide me a little bit with out-of-bounds tricks. Apparently, he can recover from here. He fought Spider Guardian, but I think he crashed. Yeah, he crashed sometime after Spider Guardian, I thought, and didn't actually have the fight. I can't remember. He's crashed a couple of times. Had the reset. Oh, is that a... I see Lane in chat. That is a forfeit on Lane side, I'm imagining, yes. Lane, you don't know it yet, but you still had time. Get your GGs in chat to Lane. Yeah, that's a spirit breaker. You had the time. We'll see if we can get you in here. For an interview. But oh my gosh, Lane, yeah. That's a rough run, and we do see Kaz going through the pathway, which is what I was expecting he might do, since he was on the hunt for Cobalt this whole time. And we are joined in chat by Lane. GG's, Lane.
GG's.
So, yeah, walk us through that a little bit right there at the end. We'll have Kaz finishing Spider Guardian, but I'd love to hear your take on what went down.
I didn't get Dark Visor because of my screen being blurry, because Nintendo. I thought that was a missile. So that's why I didn't get that. And I don't know why I kept getting bounced off the door when I was morphing on it. Because you're supposed to jump to the side and then powerbomb the Aether, but I couldn't find a standable spot. So I just gave up, and I just started powerbombing the door on top, and I kept getting bounced off of it for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah, after the first out-of-bounds crash there, trying to skip the Spider Guardian, we were thinking maybe you were going to call it at that, but so impressively resolved to keep going, and even still, you had the time. Just had to go through it the regular way, but that's really rough. I was pulling for you. And I will say, earlier on in the race, it was kind of, for both of you guys, it was the nightmare of what you left behind. I don't know if you know, but Kaz actually was in the room with Cobalt and missed it. So the whole time you were trying some stuff, Kaz was still on a Cobalt hunt.
Well, yeah, the only reason why I actually went back there and found it is because of that hint from 3 rooms away from Sand Canyon, or not Sand Canyon, Sand Cache. That's the only reason why I even went back there.
Yeah, if you catch the restream, there was a block, probably about 20 minutes, where neither of you knew where that last item was. Because you'd both been in that room. You obviously had seen, like you said, you mistook the item, and for whatever reason, Kaz didn't check Cobalt. And so we were wondering who was going to stumble upon it first, because you both had to do some backtracking. But you were actually in the lead for quite a while with that Dark Visor pickup. Well, I can definitely understand the frustration, though. GG's once again. It was a really nice run on your part.
I played pretty well, honestly. My routing was kind of weird, but I can't blame myself for that because of where Dark Beam was. I didn't see a reason to not get those 2 check and demo grounds first before going to Aegon. Because since I got that Dark Beam and Temple Grounds hint, I was going to go to Aegon rather than stay in Temple Grounds when I got those bombs, but then I got that hint and I'm like, yeah, no way am I gonna risk this. And unfortunately, Dark Beam was in a trolly location. So it forced Aegon trip to get it.
Yeah, you doubled back right after reading that hint. I saw you go right to grab the, hopefully find your Dark Beam. But it was, like you said, kind of trolling, sitting there on Dark Missile Trooper. But actually, you space jump skipped into Pirate Labs, grabbed your Spider Ball, immediately led to your Boost Ball, and had a nice advantage at that point. We're able to... It took Kaz a little longer to go over and grab that Spider Ball pickup.
Yeah, that was really nice. I decided to do that because at that point, there were no good plays. There was either go to Dark Aegon NSJ and risk space jump being in Temple Grounds and Dark Beam being on the ship. At least I think that could happen. I don't know. Or I go to Temple Grounds. Actually, I think I mixed everything up. It was either me go to Temple Grounds and get that one check, or stay in Aegon and do Aegon NSJ. And do the Dark Aegon NSJ. And I decided to go to Dark Aegon NSJ just in case I got an item there that led to Space Jump. Or that led to Dark Beam, rather.
Yeah, well, Space Jump ended up being pretty free. Just sitting there in, is that in Cache A, I think it was? But armed with that Dark Beam knowledge that you got to on the way into Aegon, Kaz decided to go through with it. He didn't double back. So when he came through Temple Grounds, he was able to pick up the Dark Beam as well. But again, we just kind of kept trading efficiency because, you know, Kaz was able to use the Dark Beam to get some more checks, but you had Spider Ball and Boost Ball, so you were able to get, like, you grabbed Power Bombs off that ramp way before Kaz grabbed Power Bombs. Like, a solid 20 minutes.
Oh yeah, it must have been pretty funny when I went for that 3BJ with a Space Jump to get that Power Bomb early. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, no, execution was just awesome to watch. I love seeing runners who are just so talented with the game. Appreciate you hammering through a rough seed today. And with the Cobalt and Dark Visor kind of put off, this race could have come down to the second. I mean, you guys both were, with a couple of resets, Kaz was getting hotter and hotter, so could have been a really tight race there up at the end.
I should have continued that, but like, at that point, it wasn't really worth it because I was just so mad at that. Like, I was kind of mad at Dark Visor, but like, I got over it. But then those two soft locks happened. I'm like, nah, I'm not continuing this anymore.
Well, yeah, that first kind of soft lock or crash and reset there's so much. I think you had lost Dark Visor at that point and some other things, but when you went for it, I was so like, yeah, all right, this is it, we're gonna go. And it would have been understandable to quit then, like, you know, just, but to go and to keep through, to hammer it on, we were just pulling for you. We were so excited, and then to have another one, have it again, it's you're stronger will than any of us, I'm sure, because we would have given up for much less at that point. And we do see Kaz making the transition to the Dark World here. Going to be picking up that last STK in Defiled Shrine, and going to be heading into the Emperor Ing fight. And just having a little trouble with the ledge there. Yeah, more power bombs are never bad to have for this phase 2 of Emperor Ing. And while we see Kaz get ready to jump into this final elevator ride for the fight, Lane, how's your involvement in the tournament been? You been enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah, this game's, I've been playing like somewhat well, I think. This seed, my movement was really good, at least for my standards. My movement was less good in my last race. I don't remember how the last race went. Oh yeah, right, I got the supers in the upper Torvis. The last race I felt played well. I just unfortunately didn't go to upper Torvis because I didn't want to yet without supers, and that put me way behind. But overall, this has been going decently for me. At least my gameplay wise.
Yeah, I've tried to catch a little bit of all the races, but I can attest to at least this one, your movement was really nice. And at 2 hours and 30 minutes, Kaz is going to drop off the key. Wait, must find one more. Which one did he miss? Boy, if this hasn't been the... I don't even know what the word is for this. This has been a rough seed all around. I could have sworn that Kaz grabbed that.
At least that key is like somewhat fast to grab.
I'm wondering, I mean, chat is kind of with me here. I'm wondering if he had a reset or a death or not a death, a crash, but I don't think we saw him crash. So there must have been a reset somewhere where he didn't grab that. Well, I will rescind my statement here. At 2 hours and 31 minutes, Kaz has turned in 8 of the 9 necessary Sky Temple keys. And while we see Kaz backtrack for that one, I do want to make sure I let you guys know, when this race is done, hop on over because we've got another great race in our tournament. I'm pulling up the schedule now to make sure I get the runners correct for that one. Yes. Oh, it's going to be on this channel. Never mind. Well, then when this race is done, please stick around because Captain MD will be taking on Digglewrath in their matchup for round 3 of this Metroid Prime 2 Echoes tournament. You do not want to miss it. A random start, 1 to 3 starting items. It's sure to be another great match. And if you are just tuning in, or tuned in a little late, with a couple of unfortunate out-of-bounds soft locks, Lane decided to call it for this one. But Kaz apparently reset one of the STK pickups. Nobody in chat seems to remember it happening either, but went in, and actually he didn't remember either because went in to turn the keys and be done, and was gently nudged with a reminder that he is turning in 8 out of 9 Sky Temple keys. So we're backtracking here to grab this one on Kaz's side, and then we can go ahead and wrap this seed up. We are joined here by Lane in chat. So, while we're kind of watching some of this over at Lane, if you want to comment to any of how I think my big question for you was how does it feel when like all of your progression is so stacked at the beginning? I mean, we had most of our major movement, morph ball upgrades, all of that stuff before we even left Agon.
I was debating whether I should go to Taurus or Sank. And then I got like a bunch of E-Tanks, so I figured, you know what, I'm gonna go scan my hints. And so I did that, and then I saw there was a key. There's like a bunch of Dark Visor locked keys, which was kind of annoying because every area had one, except for Torvis. So I decided to go to Torvis instead of Sank because Sank was out of logic with main BBs, without main BBs, and or Dark Visor. So Sank was completely out of logic. So I decided to go to Torvis because of that, and the fact that that had the one Sky Nimble key that I could clear. So I decided to just full clear Torvis, and then I got main BBs. I was hoping to get Dark Visor in Torvis, but I got main BBs anyway, so I'm like, yeah, okay. So Dark Visor's in Sank. And then cleared Sank, read the hint, and I thought that hint was talking about Mining Plaza, and it was a Morbus lock, so that's why I decided to go to Spider Guardian. In case Aegon Key was there. Because I was for sure that I saw a missile at the Light World Battleground. I forgot what that room's called. And then nothing was there, so I decided I would go back to Aegon, just in case.
Yeah, that hint was... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
What were you saying?
No, I didn't mean to cut you off. All I was going to say was that hint was really your saving grace there. That kind of put you right in a spot to, even though you didn't know exactly where it was, gave you a chance to narrow down your search.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I would have done if I didn't see that hint, to be honest. I guess I would have went to Dark Temple Grounds and done that, because I didn't do that Dark Visor platforms check, because I decided not to do it because it's really slow. And it usually ends up being nothing but a Sky Key. And if it was a Sky Key, then I would have to go back for it and I wouldn't lose much time.
Yeah, a strange amount of vanilla Sky Temple keys here. I think there were 3, possibly 4, that were locked behind Dark Visor. I think it was 3.
Yeah, it was 3. It was Defiled Shrine, Battleground, and Hive Dynamorphs.
Yeah, and no worries on room names, Lane. I've butchered my share of remembering room names, but chat's kept me honest here. It's the biggest downside to not having a COCOM was sometimes I just mix up what room's called what.
I'm not as familiar with the room names in this game as Prime. I'm not sure why. Maybe the room names are just more confusing in this game. For me.
Well, chat was the real MVP and my best friend because they definitely kept everything good with room names. So thank you. I wasn't awful, by no means, but there were 2 or 3 where I was like, I cannot remember the name of this room to save my life. But with that, speaking of save, we have a save warp back to the starting location. Kaz is getting ready to actually turn in all the Sky Temple keys this time. I think Kaz is just having fun being on the restream, that he just wanted to, milk it, take a little more advantage of it, right? Turn your 8 keys in, go back and get a 9th one. So with this, we'll be seeing the beginning of our final boss fights. Kaz, of course, has to take down Emperor Ing, all 3 phases, as well as Dark Samus phase 3 and 4. And I imagine because we have a race kind of already in the lane to start, that probably won't get to hear too much from Kaz if we get to hear from them at all. But needless to say, please, we've been saying it all night, give these runners a follow. They've been putting on some great performances. And of course, if you stuck around and you've been enjoying this race, better not go anywhere, because we've got another great race starting up right when this one ends. Captain MD13 taking on Digglewrath in round 3 of the Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Randomizer Tournament 2021. There we go. I want to make fun of Kaz for, like not having it, but chat was fooled. I was fooled. We were all there. We're like, of course this is 9 keys.
Oh yeah, I did crash once because I couldn't find the load trigger for that Torvus room, which is just the reason why I saved at that save station, because I almost always crash there. So I figured if I did crash there, which I do 90% of the time, then I would just reload that save and then skip boost guarding if there's nothing there, and just do the 3BJ over the gate again, which worked out well for me. I'm glad boost guarding did nothing because of that. And then I just had to re-get.
Yeah, it was almost a gift, that crash, as awful as it feels, because you could just, back up and not have to worry about it. So, and turn your headphones up or your computer speakers, TV, whatever you're watching on, because we've got some great music pumping right here. The Emperor Ing fight. Kaz with some great super missile shots. Gets the 1 cycle. You love to see it. And armed with 5 PBs. Gonna be taking on phase 2. Making quick work. Quick work on Kaz's side. Very nicely done. Takes a little bit of a tumble, but really nothing to worry about here with, gosh, I think that's 10 E-tanks and light suit. And just like that, Emperor Ing phase 3 begins. And Kaz reminding us that while they may have removed the necessary screw attack part of this battle, the hitboxes are still sensitive to it, and we can pretty much coast through this fight with just some screw attack to the knees there. With a very clean Emperor Ing all phases fight entirely. That was a nice 1 cycle, very quick through phase 2, and we're already done with phase 3. And I see a little update in chat that the Prime 2 randomizer tournament is happening on SpeedGaming 4, so there's a good chance that because this game ran a little longer that they're just playing over there. Somebody wants to confirm that, but please be sure to stick around for the next at least couple of minutes while we see Kaz wrap up a very hard-fought race, and maybe we'll be able to get him in here too for a couple of comments before we wrap it up for the night.
Well, yeah, one thing I didn't like about the seed of how far I went with 1 power bomb, and I had to keep backtracking through rooms to refill over and over again. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that was not a small time between expansion pickups. I think the second one you grabbed might have been, or the third one you grabbed was main PBs, so that's always a nice find. Jump the count up.
It sucks that it was at Alpha Blog, but I'm like, yeah, I'm getting those. I'll just do the BSJ out.
Yeah, and chat pointing out, oh, and it looks like we're getting the good skip on Kaz's side here. Very impressive. Nicely done, and with that, get your GGs in chat. Kazuto finishing with an official SRO time of 2 hours and 44 minutes and 36 seconds. GG's. Awesome work. Hard-fought race for sure from both ends. And let's get Kazuto up here in chat if we can. just to comment a little bit about on what we just went through, but make sure you get GGs in for both our runners. Welcome, Kazuto to GG.
Hey, thanks. Lane, what happened?
GG.
Thank you.
So I I beat Spider Guardian, and then I backed out because I didn't have Dark Visor at the time, and I saw the hint that said Dark Visor 3 rooms away from Sand Cache, and I thought that was talking about Mining Plaza, and I didn't check the item, so I thought I was looking for a Dark Aegon key still, and I double checked on that after beating Spider Guardian just in case a key was there, and then I got Dark Visor, which was really unfortunate to be honest, because I checked it through the cutscene, but I thought it was a missile, so I didn't actually collect it. And so I went back for that, and I tried because Spider Garden was cleared already, I decided to just do the instant morph in the tunnel, and I couldn't get the instant morph because I am pretty bad at that strat. So I did the wall crawl in the Dynamo Works room to get to that power bomb door, and I couldn't find a standal spot, and I did end up transitioning the door, but I couldn't find the seam to, or the standal spot to do the ceiling warp in the ceiling, and then I accidentally screwed back out of bounds, and it soft locked me, and
Man.
I lost all my Dark Visor progress, but I did continue after that. I saved at Aegon, getting Dark Visor, getting the key again, and I saved. And then I got bounced off the door when I morphed in it, and I fell all the way down, and I had no idea where the jump spot was, so I decided to reset, and then the exact same thing happened the third time, and then that's when I forfeited.
Oh man. Yeah, I wasn't sure it. Like at first, I went it was like dolphin crashing or something. I just overlooked Cobalt Translator for like half an hour. I
Yeah.
walked right underneath it, and I didn't even think to look up when I was there. Yeah.
Yeah, Kaz, this kind of really was a heartbreaker watching on both sides because Lane skipped the Dark Visor after being in the room early on, and Kaz, you walked right under the Cobalt, and then both of you kind of found everything else. So it was really a
Yeah.
matter of who's going to pick up the item that they already were in the room with. So it's not like it wasn't a check. You know, you had to double back somewhere you had been. And Lane's saving grace was there. The Dark Visor was actually hinted. You probably, I don't think you got that because it was a Cobalt hint. At that point, you had everything you needed. And Lane went back, but it was a couple of out of bounds soft locks that gave you the time to make your progress back into it. But I will tell you, both of you, I mean, the lead just shifted back and forth. There was so much great execution going on. Really impressive run on both ends.
Well, thank you. A GG Lane, by the way.
GG's.
It was a pretty fun seed. The only thing that I was salty about was Cobalt, obviously, because I was dumb and completely forgot to look up.
So if I could ask, was it that did you not see it the first time you went in? Because we also saw you look at Echo Visor, skip it, then get the hint and go. I think you tried the screw attack thing and just kind of wasn't worried about it, and then grabbed it on your way out. So we thought maybe it was like a sense of maybe you thought you saw a different visor. I don't know. It was just that you didn't check it. We weren't sure.
So at first, I had confused where one of my keys were, and I thought I needed Echo. So I was actually looking for that instead of Cobalt because I was thinking about the visor, not the translator. And so when I saw Echo there, by that point I had already realized I didn't need it. But I was like, since I was looking for Cobalt, I was thinking maybe it could be Echo locked, so I may as well try and get it. And then, yeah, I don't know. I just gave up on it because I figured there were more checks ahead of me. And if I had looked up, I would have realized that I didn't even need to bother with it.
Well, it didn't help finding the Annihilator beam because that's kind of I think we called it the get distracted starter kit. Because with Echo and Annihilator, you're just so many like one-off checks become open.
That's like I went back to Aegon for the Amber Gate because I had realized I got that in Torbis, and I was wondering if it was like the progress was pushing me in that direction, and then that led me to Light Suit. So I was like, well, maybe it's underwater or in a light beam.
Yeah, and it's funny too. You ended up coming back to Cobalt, but from the other side. So you kind of did the world tour, coming around to the other side and coming into Cobalt. But we were stoked to see you pick it up for sure. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was the time back through from the front end to Sank that I realized I didn't look at it. And I was thinking, I really hope this isn't Cobalt because I could have had it like 20, 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah, no, it was a great run. Just my heart goes out to you, Lane. That was a rough way to have to go. But I mean, going out big, right? I mean, I appreciated even after the first reset. I think I would have been too frustrated to go on, but your commitment to go a couple more times was great.
I figured I would try again just in case that I was still ahead at that point because of that like spider ball play. So
Yeah,
I felt like, pardon?
no, sorry. I was just gonna say for Kaz's knowledge, Lane actually skipped Space Jump, went into labs without it, grabbed Spider Ball, and that again, the routing divergence early on, like to take you guys to different accessible ways. But did you have any input or opinion on the absolutely stacked Agon Wastes? It had everything you need for progression to move on.
When I looked at Screw Attack at first, I thought it was a missile. So I did a double take on it and realized that's Screw Attack. And then, yeah. And I found Super Missile going backwards through labs in the room, like right next to that. And I figured that was Spider Ball on the floor since I went that way. I had to use the dash to get across because I didn't have Space Jump either. Yeah, Aegon was loaded, man.
Well, GG's again to both of you. Do you guys have anything else you want to say? I do have one more question for Kaz, but do you guys have anything else that you want to say while we're here?
I
Hopefully it was a
actually
good
meant to
show.
do, pardon?
I said hopefully it was a good show.
It was a fun seed, to be honest.
It really was.
I was actually like going to do reverse labs too, but then I forgot that I didn't trigger the Dark Samus cutscene yet, so I got locked out of the cage. And I'm like, I really don't want to reload the room and come all the way back there, so I decided to just do labs the vanilla way.
Well, it was definitely an entertaining seed to watch. I know that everybody in chat enjoyed it. I had a great time, and definitely, if you missed any of it, catch the VOD. Especially early on, there was a ton of action going on. I can't believe how stacked Agon was. Just how many things were available. Not a lot of power bombs this run, but which can be frustrating. But so many things available early on. Kaz, you had us all scratching our heads. I have to ask, 8 Sky Temple keys instead of 9? We all swear we saw you pick the other one up.
I forgot that I didn't go to Hazing Cliff.
So there was no reset, though. You just didn't get it.
I just didn't get it.
Okay. I was
I didn't
convinced.
get it the first time through. I got the energy tank when I saw that and forgot to go to Hazing Cliff as well.
All right. Well, that puts that to rest. All of chat, we were all saying we saw him pick it up. So did he reset? What happened? But
Yeah,
you
no.
heard it here to confirm. We all missed it. We saw what we wanted to see. Chat. There you go.
Yeah,
But,
normally I'd check all those items at once, and it completely slipped my mind that I didn't actually go there this time.
well, great stuff as always. GG's to both our runners. I see links there in the chat. Please give both these runners a follow. They've been putting on a great performance in this tournament, and they're always providing awesome content on their channels. You do not want to miss it. Go out, support these two. They're awesome. I don't want to delay any longer because we have another race that started up on Speed Gaming 4. I want to say thank you to both of you again. Good luck with the rest of your runs through the tournament, and congrats on a win, Kaz, and congrats on a great game played to both of you.
Thank you, guys.
Well, that's going to do it here for us. go head over to SpeedGaming 4 right now and catch some more great Metroid Prime 2 Echoes Randomizer action. The tournament is continuing with the next match against Digorath and Captain MD13 in progress right now. GG's again to both our runners, and thank you as always, chat, for being so entertaining, but also for having my back. Chat was the real MVP this night, co-calming with me. You guys were all awesome. I appreciate everybody who's come out tonight. I am 329th in line, and I've had a blast with you guys. We'll see you next mission.
See you guys.
Good night, everyone.